This is your Hdsr Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events. The three most formidable, most dominant set of teammates in Victor Valley College women's basketball history cap off their careers earning first-team all-conference honors. Jordan Brooks, Maniyah Willingham, Tyreshia Sessions led the program to 40 victories in their VVC career, the school's most victories over a two-season span. Jordan Brooks led the 2023 team again in scoring and rebounding. The 6'3" Jordan Brooks averaged 22 points and 10 rebounds a game, shooting 72% from the floor. She is also a 60% shooter from the free throw line. The former Oak Hills Lady Bulldog recorded 101 blocked shots in her career, another VVC record, and she is the program's all-time rebounds leader with 466 career rebounds. Maniyah Willingham averaged 18 points, 5 steals, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists a game in conference play her sophomore season. The second-year Lady Ram out of Arroyo in San Bernardino shot 50% from the field, 41% from three-point range. She led the team with 30 threes. Tyreshia Sessions averaged 14 points, 8.5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 steals a game her sophomore season. The 6-foot Tyreshia Sessions' 152 career steals is the VVC school record. One of the High Desert's most dominant players the past 6 years, Tyreshia Sessions' high school career included first-team All-League seasons at Sultana, then Hesperia. 7 Lady Rams in all are named to the Inland Empire Athletic Conference All-Conference team. Mariah Burley and Aliyah Wright, both freshmen and former Oak Hills Lady Bulldogs, are second-team selections. Sophomores Jasmine Phillips and Sydney Lockhart received honorable mention. The Victor Valley College 2023 women's basketball team made the California Community College Athletic Association playoffs a second straight year. Coach Troy Hall's ladies won 20 games for the second year in a row, finishing 20-9 on the year. 3 members of Coach Prentice Harris's Rams men's basketball team are named to the All-Conference team. Josh Ryan, 6'2" sophomore from Rancho Cucamonga, averaged 16 points a game in conference play. He scored a career-high 30 against Siracoso, hitting 9 of 12 from the field in that game, including 6 for 6 from three-point range. Former Hesperia Scorpion Blake Goodrow is all-conference a second year. The 6'3" shooting guard led the team in three-pointers, averaged 15 points a game. His career-high 33 came in the win at Antelope Valley. 7-foot sophomore Janko Drama, the team's leading rebounder, is from Dusseldorf, Germany. On this date in High Desert sports history, Blake Goodrow's reign of threes helps lead Hesperia to opening round win in 2020 state regionals. Hesperia resumes their quest for a CIF championship, defeating Santa Fe Christian in the opening round of the State Division II regional tournament. Tony Singleton scores 20. John McCullough leads Scorpions scorers with 25 in the 13-point win over the visiting Eagles. Blake Goodrow adds 19, hitting threes in clutch situations and explaining the Scorpions' mindset following their 3-point loss in the CIF Division II title game.
Blake, was it tough for this team getting focused and intense after such a devastating loss in the finals?
We just had to get back in the gym, keep working, and move on to the next one. We knew we had state coming in, and our bracket was good, so we got to keep pushing with each other and keep getting better. So that's what we did.
John McCullough goes to work early against this man-to-man defender, first of John McCullough's team high 25 points. Tony Singleton demonstrates why it's difficult to block his jump shot, elevating above the defense and scoring the first points of the second quarter. Jonathan McCullough on the run jumper needed to tie the score at 35. We are at the midway mark in the third quarter. And it is here and now that John McCullough leads his team in pulling away from the visitors. Hesperia is no stranger to Santa Fe Christian coach Chad Bickley, who had coached at Hesperia Christian over 20 years ago. Santa Fe Christian is in Solano Beach, a 2.5-hour drive for the Eagles. The closest Santa Fe Christian can come down the stretch is 7. The final score, Scorpions 70, Santa Fe Christian Eagles 57. Your High Desert Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill, corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road in Victorville. Bid fast and last, world-class auctioneers. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies, Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. Silverwood, the developers of the Silverwood Master Planned Community. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, Conference and Convention Center for the Victor Valley. The Holiday Inn supports our area's teams, schools, athletes, and sports programs. Terry Kurtz here, inviting you to join us on Terry Kurtz Online, the half-hour report on High Desert and Huffy River Valley events and activities, entertainment, and history. It shows 3 times daily at 7:30 and 11:30 mornings and 4:30 in the afternoon, right here on Victor Valley TV, immediately following your High Desert Sports Report. It's the most informative and entertaining half-hour of High Desert television today. Highlights begin in black and white on this date in High Desert sports history. Granite Hills girls advance in 2010 CIF playoffs. This Hesperia Scorpions 4-year starter heads up the 2018 All-MRL team. Battery mates Kendra O'Cole, Madison Mendoza provide the 1-2 punch in this Lady Sun Devils win over Silverado in 2017. Highlights of the Victor Valley College 2016 triumph over Chaffee. The Granite Hills girls soccer team BK'd Los Altos to reach the CIF finals. By BK, we refer to freshman BK Smith, who scored the only goal of the match.
100% wanted to score, just the fact of doing it. I can't even remember what happened.
The low-scoring battle was expected. Granite Hills entered with 21 shutouts. Los Altos had given up only 8 goals all season. Los Altos, the number 3 seed in the CIF tournament, appeared dominant in the first 10 minutes, until Cougars coach Mike Bradbury switched his alignment, dropping senior Bree Bolliford back and bringing in the freshman BK Smith. The payoff defensively was immediate. Offensively, the rewards would not come for another 25 minutes for the number 2 seeded Lady Cougars. The game winner came 36 minutes into the second half. It culminated after Rihanna Spade's kick from the side due to Christine Pasik's hustle running the ball down in the opposite corner. The pass to the middle lifted in the air by Adrian Bradbury, waiting perfectly for Smith's heads-up header. The freshman's header was a carbon copy of the goal she scored at about the same point in the second half of the previous game against Serrano. That was her first CIF goal. This was the more important. Katie Nierhoff's performance in the net, superb, particularly under the final desperate onslaught of the do-or-die, score-or-go-home would-be conquerors. Throughout the game, Bradbury's strategy and use of his lineup was no Bradbury mystery. Upon scoring, he inserted younger daughter Allison to join senior sister Adrian in the back line. The Twin Towers, the Bradbury building, contributed heavily to the completion of the shutout. The final play of the game was a brilliant clearing pass from the sophomore Bradbury to fellow sophomore Rihanna Spate in the corner.
There we go, perfect!
He throws the ball until the closing whistle enabled pandemonium to break out on the Granite Hills sideline.
Hold it, Ray! Hold it! That's time!
The victory is far more than a ticket to the CIF Finals. The Lady Cougars, fiercely determined to punch the ticket that lands them back in Downey and emerge, waving the second CIF Championship banner in Granite Hills girls soccer history. Hesperia four-year starter and leading three-point shooter Jaden Everett is Mojave River League Player of the Year. The 6'3" Scorpions co-captain helped lead Hesperia to a three-peat league championship season. Jaden Everett averaged just under 12 points a game and was a linchpin in the Scorpions' lockdown defensive scheme of things. Hesperia held Mojave River League opponents to under 45 points per game on average. 3 Scorpions teammates are also named First Team All-MRL. Fellow senior co-captain Ronnie Green, 4, led first-year coach Andrew Skidmore's club in assists. MRL top scorer, 6'2", Jaden Shackelford, averaged 23 points a game and led the Scorpions in rebounding his junior season. Sophomore Antonio Singleton, 20, completes the quartet of Scorpions' first-team selections. A pair of Serrano Diamondbacks are first-team All-MRL, 6'7", junior Jahan Westbrook and 6'5", senior Matt Lowe. The Diamondbacks went 5-5 in league under first-year coach John Beck. Sultana senior Sonny Amayo, the top three-point shooter in the circuit, repeats as a first-team All-MRL selection. Sonny Amayo averaged 16 points a game. 6'4" junior Clay Crandall joins Sonny Amayo on the All-MRL first team for Sultana. Clay Crandall averaged 15 points and 9 rebounds a game for Jay Harry's Sultans. League runners-up Burroughs, one first-team selection, junior Dabrian Skipworth, who averaged 18 points a game. The Apple Valley Sun Devils representation on the All-League team, sophomore Tycori Wilson. The hot-shooting Tycori Wilson led the Sun Devils in scoring, averaging 14 points a game. Tyree Jackson, 2, scored at a 12 points per game clip. Kyle Lewis, 11 points and 9 rebounds a game for the Sun Devils. Stating the case for headline-making highlights on this date in high desert sports history, Rob Alexander's Oak Hills Bulldogs in 2022 state regionals. Hesperia's Tony Singleton leads Scorpions advance in the 2020 CIF playoffs. All 3 local high school teams in the state tournament lost opening round games by a total of 4 points. Oak Hills, an overtime loss, 71-70. Riverside Prep losing by 2 at Chaffee. The Lady Jackrabbits of Victor Valley a 1-point loss at King Drew. Here's how the Oak Hills battle goes down. The Bulldogs battle from behind in the second quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime period. After substandard play in the first and third quarters, Michael Miller and Samaj Blocker take turns, turning in outstanding bursts of remarkable play, aided by clutch contributions from their teammates. Michael Miller scores 6 of his team's first 8 points in a sluggish first quarter. The visiting Narbonne Gauchos build up an 8-point lead in the early going. Samaj Blocker's second quarter surge includes this 3 that puts the Bulldogs back in the lead with under a minute to go before halftime. Narbonne regains the lead with time running out in the second quarter. Samaj Blocker beats the buzzer, banking in the 3 to send his team into the locker room, leading 27-25 at the half. The outlook for a Bulldogs victory grows bleak when Narbonne builds a 12-point lead late in the third quarter. A pair of 3s start Oak Hills on the long road back. Jeremiah Estrella cuts the deficit to 9. The Isaiah Sharkey 3 pulls the Bulldogs within 6. It is 48-42, Narbonne entering the final 8 minutes of regulation play. Michael Miller ups his A game to A+, magna cum laude status, in fact, with this play, the steal, racing to beat defenders to the basket, the slam dunk, and the Bulldogs appear full throttle on the comeback trail. But the Bulldogs' defense fails repeatedly to cut defenders off at the baseline, and Narbonne rallies to rebuild an 11-point lead with a minute and a half to play in the fourth quarter. A Garrett Johnson basket, then this pair of free throws by the 6'5 senior, and the Bulldogs are within 8 with a minute 15 showing on the fourth quarter clock. To cut into a wide deficit with time running out, you have to score with the clock stopped. Free throws, in other words, and the Bulldogs comply. Michael Miller, 2 in succession. Then vintage Michael Miller, the clutch 3 from well beyond the three-point line. Bulldogs down by 4, 61-57, with 44 seconds on the clock. Samaj Blocker has to hit both of these free throws to keep the deficit at 4. It goes without saying how critical these free throws are under pressure. Then you see the full court press pay off, it would appear, but Samaj Blocker is slapped with a foul, and you can see Coach Rob Alexander contest the call. Narbonne players are not missing their free throws. The visitors go up by 5, 64-59, with 20 seconds to play. Michael Miller calmly connects on 3 consecutive free throws after he is fouled attempting a three-pointer. And watch, when Narbonne inbounds, they commit a blocking foul on an illegal screen. The Bulldogs have the ball under their own basket, trailing by 2 with 16 seconds to play. Samaj Blocker has 5 seconds to get the ball in. He inbounds to Garrett Johnson. Michael Miller wins the battle under the board, out-rebounds a trio of defenders, pushes through an attempt to block his shot from behind, and scores. Or, as Daily Press scribe Jason Reed describes it, Michael Miller snagging the offensive rebound and draining the contested putback that whirled around the rim, sending the game into overtime. Yeah, what he said. The Bulldogs outscore Narbonne 11-3 in the last 60 seconds. Michael Miller scoring all 11 of those points, and we go to OT. Garrett Johnson scores the first points of the 4-minute overtime period, but Narbonne rattles off 6 unanswered points, and the Bulldogs are back to playing catch-up once again. Michael Miller drives through 3 defenders and scores. Oak Hill's within 2. Narbonne's lead is 70-68 with 30 seconds remaining in overtime. 28 seconds later, following a Narbonne free throw, the Bulldogs trail by 3. They have the ball under their own basket, needing a catch-and-release 3 to tie. 1.8 seconds on the clock. In fact, the inbounds pass, the uncontested basket for 2, and just like that, Oak Hill's season ends with the 71-70 defeat. Coach Rob Alexander praised the resilience of his senior-laden team and lauded their legacy, winning the school's first Mojave River League basketball championship in 6 years, advancing to the CIF semifinals, and setting the high standard for future Bulldogs teams to follow. Hesperia stages epic rallies in the second quarter and fourth quarter to take Oxnard down to the wire before falling to the visiting Yellow Jackets 61-54 in the state regional quarterfinals. Oxnard comes in with only 2 losses on the year, the second, the stinging CIF semifinals upset setback at the hands of these Scorpions here in Hesperia 2 weeks earlier. Oxnard mounts huge leads twice, 18 points in the second quarter and again in the third quarter. The Scorpions scrap and scratch their way back before succumbing to the highly ranked Yellow Jackets. Oxnard enters the playoffs ranked and seeded second in CIF Division II. Hesperia ranked 5th. Hesperia starts out this way. Tony Singleton steals, pulls up into the attacking zone, and it is 4-0 2 minutes in. Tony Singleton's first of 4 threes needed for the Scorpions to regain the lead, 7-6. Jonathan McCullough's basket ties the score at 11, but the Scorpions' scoring stalls, and the visitors rally with 13 unanswered points to take a 24-11 lead entering the second quarter. Rapid-fire recovery time. Micah Gardner for 3. John McCullough, the drive shot goes as he is fouled. 5 seconds on the clock. Tony Singleton rebounds the errant free throw, throws it up and in, and Hesperia goes into the locker room down by but 4 after trailing by 18. It is 31-27 at the half, 33-29 Oxnard. The visitors get the better of things through the third quarter, though. This Tony Singleton 3 comes with under a minute to go in quarter number 3 after the Yellow Jackets had built an 18-point lead. This is the type of play that contributed to the Scorpions' 12-point upset win over Oxnard 2 weeks prior. Jonathan McCullough with the block. He brings it up court. You hear the buzzer sound as the ball goes through the net. And Hesperia is well on their way toward the second half rally that will pull them within 4 with 2 minutes left to play. It is 49-36 to start the fourth quarter. Vintage Tony Singleton to start the fourth. The rebound then from one end of the court to the other, and the Scorpions have closed the deficit to 11. But too many shots fail to fall. Oxnard's final 8 points come from the free throw line as time winds down on the Scorpions' incredible season. Final score will read Oxnard Yellow Jackets 61, Hesperia Scorpions 54. Victor Valley College gets a push bunt RBI double from Brian Spencer to drive in Angel Cano from second with the go-ahead run in the 8th. In another Rams come from behind victory, this one a 1-run win over San Bernardino Valley. That go-ahead run launched a 5-run 8th for VVC. As it turns out, all those runs would be needed as the Rams survive a Wolverines 4-run rally in the 9th to emerge 7-6 winners. Their 9th win of the season in their final contest before beginning their 12-game Western State East Conference schedule.
A record-breaking number of area wrestlers are headed to state. 12 local wrestlers qualified for the CIF State Championships. Sultana leads the local delegation with 6 wrestlers. Barstow advances 2, and Victor Valley, Oak Hills, Apple Valley, and Hesperia each send 1. It's the most High Desert wrestlers qualifying for state ever. 10 went to the CIF State Championships a year ago. For Sultana, it's record-breaking. Sultana has twice sent 5 wrestlers to state, but this is the first time the Sultans are sending 6. Sultana's Nate Vargas at 152, Evan Solis 160, Joey Griego 170, Dylan Torkowski 182, Sam Aguiar 220, and Austin Gillum in the heavyweight all qualified. Barstow's Isaiah Ramirez at 120 and Jose Rubio Jr. in the 126 weight qualified. Rubio made the state tournament last year. He's one of 3 High Desert wrestlers to return to state this year. Sultana's Austin Gillum and Oak Hill's Brandon Martell are the others. Hesperia's Michael Veramontes, Victor Valley's Sonny Luna, and Apple Valley's Ethan Williams also advanced. In girls wrestling, Oak Hill's Corey Burton won her 2nd straight state championship in the 189-pound class at the CIF Girls State Wrestling Championships. The Lady Bulldogs Jr. pulled off a dramatic last-second takedown of Birmingham's Alexandria Castillo to win the title match 3-1. Burton has only been wrestling for 3 years. She won the 198-pound weight class national championship last year, wrestling for Team California USA. She now has won back-to-back state titles.
This day's sports headlines and headline makers of yesteryear: Mike Bradbury's 2011 Granite Hills Lady Cougars soccer team posts second straight CIF shutout. VVC Lady Ram Maniyah Hill sets scoring record with 42 in last game of the 2016 season. The Granite Hills girls soccer team opened CIF playoffs with back-to-back shutouts. The second, 2-0 at Pasadena Poly, far more challenging than the first. Lady Cougars coach Mike Bradbury talks of championship moments and what's expected against Pasadena Poly.
The key at this point in the second round is mistake-free soccer. Mistake-free soccer in the defensive end, mistake-free soccer in the offensive end. There's going to be championship moments when we get closer to the quarterfinals, to the semifinals. And even in this game, there's going to be championship moments. And as we know, champions make plays.
Granite Hills finally broke the ice on a beautiful afternoon in Pasadena on this goal 31 minutes into the first half. Leon Spade's inbounds pass deflects off Jill Wiersbicky's arm and into the net, with Katie Saavedra there to ensure the goal. What was developing was an intense defensive struggle, led by goalkeeper Taylor Hutton's saves, often spectacular. Jill Wiersbicky with the block, and another Taylor Hutton diving save. The second Granite Hills goal came with under 4 minutes remaining in the game. Sophomore midfielder Lindsay Hutton takes the pass and drills a perfectly placed kick over the goalie and into the net.
I actually couldn't believe it. My heart was pounding. I was just like, please don't sink this. And then when it went in, I can't even explain the feeling. I'm just so overwhelmed with joy right now. I've never had that big of a goal, that big of a game, and just to have it at this field, at this game, it's just unbelievable.
As stated earlier, this shutout, the team's 17th, far more intense than the previous one.
Oh yeah, their offense was a lot tougher, but defense came together. We all worked together to keep them out, and hey, got us a shutout. We won. We're on to quarterfinals, so hopefully win next time.
It's back home against Garden Grove's Pacifica.
Lady Rams freshman Maniyah Hill scores 42 as the Victor Valley College Lady Rams close out the 2016 season with a high-scoring overtime decision against College of the Desert. Erin Ortega inbounds to Maniyah Hill, who moves beyond the three-point line. Maniyah Hill scores the first 5 points for the Lady Rams. The first Victor Valley College points of the second quarter come on Maniyah Hill free throws after College of the Desert is called for a technical foul. The Lady Rams will fall behind by 6 before battling back to regain a lead. Maniyah Hill drives and scores with the right-handed layup. The left-handed sharpshooter adds 2 more on the drive to the basket. The Lady Rams will produce their highest scoring half of the season, 50 points the second half. Maniyah Hill's 3 starts it on the Erin Ortega assist. Maniyah Hill will hit 6 of 10 from beyond the arc, 1 shy of the record for threes in a game, 7 set by Mary Galindo in a 2013 tournament game in Barstow.
Your Hdsr Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road. Bid fast and last, sold on supporting Hdsr Sports. The Bradco companies supporting all of the teams and sports programs throughout the Mojave River Valley.
Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. Valu Quality Truck Body. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. Silverwood, the developers of the Silverwood Master Planned Community, support the teams, athletes, and sports programs of all our High Desert and Mojave River Valley schools. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, Conference and Convention Center for the High Desert. The Holiday Inn, supporting the teams, schools, and sports programs throughout the Victor Valley. This is your High Desert Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events.